Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Witches of the Moon. This week we're talking about astral herbs, and instead of going through a whole list of astral herbs and how to mix and stuff, I figured I'd just give you one that I use. So this video is going to be very short. The tea that I have used and has worked for me for a while is just star anise and valerian. However, with that being said, if you use this on your own, you use this at your own risk. I am not liable for any of this. I do not suggest you make this tea. This is just a recipe that I use, which is also why I'm not giving measurements, because I'm not suggesting that you do this. But for me, for astral travel, I just used, and I don't, let's be honest, I don't astral travel much. However, when I have done it, it was just star anise and valerian. Now, keep in mind though, valerian is a muscle relaxer. So this is the reason why I don't suggest you do it. This is the reason why I'm not giving you measurements, because it's a muscle relaxer, and it relaxes every single muscle. This also includes your large intestine and your bladder, your urinary tract. So if you do not do the right amount for you, you can pretty much expect to have an accident in more ways than one. Valerian has been used for a long time now to help calm nerves and relax nerves, but again, even though it is sold in most health food stores and things like that, it's you really have to work with it. You have to know your own body. Plus, it stinks and it does not taste good. And star anise, some people like star anise. Star anise tastes more like licorice, but I don't like licorice. So to me, the whole tea is disgusting. Now with that, if I am going for, now again, before you try any of this, and I don't even suggest you try it, make sure you talk with your doctor to make sure none of this interacts with any medications that you're on, or make sure you're not allergic to this. Also, make sure you know your body, make sure you know your body weight. I suggest talking to an herbalist to know the right amount, especially with dealing with valerian, because valerian, again, is a serious muscle relaxer. Very serious muscle relaxer, and I've known too many people who took it for granted, and they've had accidents. Also, valerian is not something to be taken, even though it's natural. It's not something to be taken if you're going to drive, or even you plan on walking down the street later. Valerian is not something you really want to play with like that. When you take valerian, you better sit your behind still. Make sure you're not going nowhere for a couple of hours, maybe even the rest of the day or night. Okay, so now that we got all that out the way, now with my tea, I will put lemon in it if I want to. Like go. What's what I'm looking for? If I'm like astral travel looking for deep truths or deep hurts or revelations, I'll add lemon to it. If I just want a good time astral traveling, I'll add a little bit of sugar to it. However, with sugar, you got to be careful, because valerian's already a relaxer and it puts you in that state, and sugar, being so it's a sweetener, it'll sweeten that and give you an elusive state. So when you astral travel with this tea and you add sugar to it, you can't always trust what you see, because it puts like a sweetened veil over everything. So it makes you see the stuff you see through a lens. However, that's pretty much what I use. I don't astral travel much. I'll keep saying that. I don't do it much. But when I do it, and when I did do it, because I haven't done it, and I think maybe about a year and a half now, as far as astral travel with tea or astral. Can you hear my kids in the background? Or it's astral traveling on purpose, not like when I'm like going to sleep and it just happens to happen. I mean, like with actual tea, it's been over, I think, a year and a half since I've done that. But yeah, so again, I don't suggest you try that. But that's my experience with it, and that's the only two. Well, they're more roots than herbs, actually. But those are the only two I've ever actually used to do it with. I'm pretty sure you could probably like there's other stuff you can use that's probably a little bit lighter. But even when they're lighter, when you start combining them all together, they can be just as strong as valerian. So be careful. So if like you're using something like a so I'm sorry, my kids are tripping. If you use something like a chamomile or lavender and mix it together with some other roots, keep in mind all these things are like natural sedatives. So when you thinking it's cool because they're natural, but you're mixing them all together, you have to be very careful with the dosage that you're giving yourself. But I guess that's about it. This video is long enough. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next week. Stay blessed to be a blessing. Peace.